All right. So it is very cool that I selected the first day to be destroying your debt because inside the answers to all of those questions that I asked you, most people are struggling with what? Paying down debt. Most people said their struggle is handling their debt, paying down their debt. Okay, so it's really cool that that happened to be day one. So I must know you guys pretty well. So, yes, I'm getting yeses. Everyone can hear and see me. Okay, great. All right, cool, cool, cool. So, I hope you guys downloaded your workbook, your implementation workbook, as well as the spreadsheet for tonight because that's what we will be going over. That's what we'll be using tonight for today's training. So we're talking about how to attack your current debt to give you the chance to help rebuild your credit and improve your credit scores. All right, let me see who else in the chat box. Okay. All right. So that's what destroying your debt is all about. If we don't attack our debt, it's going to be very difficult to improve our credit scores. All right. We have to remember that that is a huge part of the credit score calculation, right? It's a huge part of it. All right, so we're going to talk about why you need a budget. Okay, I know people don't like to budget, but you guys need to do it, right? And why you need a payment strategy. All right, what needs to be inside your budget and the different methods to paying down the debts that you have. Okay, you never received a share? Okay, which one? The workbook or the budget worksheet? Which one didn't you get share? Let me know and I can, here, let me do this. Let me see if I can get you a copy really quickly. Did you get the budget worksheet? Okay, I'm going to drop a copy of the budget worksheet inside the group so you can grab it there and then you can have it to work from. Okay, let me do that really quickly. Did you get so let me know what you didn't get, Share. Which one didn't you get? Did you get the workbook, the implementation workbook, or did you not get the budget worksheet? Got it now? Okay, cool, great. All right, so you got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's inside the email that was sent out. Okay. All right, so again, we're talking about how to attack your current debt to give you the chance of rebuilding your credit and improving your credit scores. Now, we're not talking about old debt that's in collections and things like that. We're not talking about old debt, okay? Because remember, paying old debt is not going to help boost your credit scores. So we're only talking about current debt, like your current credit card payments that are high and that are causing, low credit scores. All right, so that's what we're talking about. So budgeting. Budgeting is so important, guys, because we need to be able to tell our money where to go and what to do, right? We don't want to end up at the end of every month, at the end of every pay period, wondering where the hell did my money go, right? It is so annoying for that to happen, right? I mean, I remember those days, just constantly getting paid, but then wondering, all right, now I'm broke again, right? I have no money left over to take care of this or that, right? And so that's why it's so imperative to create a budget and follow a budget every month. Now, let's be honest here. Everyone here, if you're on live right now, drop a 1 in the comment box if you budget, if you create a budget, if you follow a monthly budget. Do you use a monthly budget for your household? And let's be honest, it's okay if you don't, it's okay if you do, right? There's no wrong answers. I just want to know the percentage of people that are budgeting. So drop a 1 in the comment box if you implement a budget, right? Do you have a monthly budget that you follow? All right, so drop a 1 in the comment box and let me know, guys, do you implement a budget? So budgeting is very important because you need to take control of your finances. All right, every dollar should be accounted for, every dollar should be designated, and it needs to be designated by you. Your credit is going to be harmed forever if you do not tackle this strategy. That's why we started here and not with disputing strategies or anything like that, or credit reports or anything like that, right? We have to tackle our debts. Okay, so Brianna, you do? Okay, great. How does that work for you? Does it help you with your monthly bills? Does it help you stay on track? Is it a helpful strategy to budget every month? Let me know if it's helpful. Okay, so now we're going to go over what you want to include inside your budget. So if you have your budget worksheet, I don't know if you guys printed it out or if you have it in front of you, I want you to pull up your budget worksheet. Okay? Pull up your budget worksheet, guys. So it was in the email that was sent out today, and we're going to go over what should be included in your monthly budget. Okay? So the first things first we want to include in our budget is our monthly income. Our monthly income. And this can include everything that comes into your household, every type of payment, every type of income that you receive on a monthly basis. So your net salary or your hourly wages, any alimony that you receive, any child support that you receive, any federal, state, or assistance of any kind, any investment income, self-employment, your side hustle, all of that income needs to be written down. All right, so that is step one. Step one is to write down all of your monthly income. Okay, we need to know the money that is coming in. Oh, great, Brianna. See, Brianna says she budgets to the dollar, so she knows how much money she has in each category at all times. It is so powerful, and you're able to, be prepared. You're able to be prepared. All right. So again, step one is to write down all of your monthly income, wherever it comes from, everything that you bring into your household, write down your monthly income. Your full-time job, your part-time job, any Social Security investments, your side hustles, your hobbies, anything you're getting paid for, any income that you're bringing in needs to be written down. So that's step one. Okay. Now, step two is to write down your monthly expenses. Okay. You need to get a handle on your expenses. So we're going to go over all of the different types of expenses that you want to write down, because this is very important. You need to know where your money is going and where you can cut costs. Okay. So first, you want to cover your housing expenses, right? What it takes to operate your household. How much money do you need to allocate to operating your household? Okay. So your mortgage, your rent, right? Any property taxes, any insurance, HOA fees, all right? Any repairs or maintenance fees, utilities, okay? So electric, gas, heat, water, trash, cable, internet, phone line, okay? So utilities for the household need to be listed. Then you need to list any transportation costs that you have. All right, so your car loan, your car note, how much that is, if you lease, your lease payment, your registration and licensing fees. Well, that's not monthly, but insurance, car insurance, gas, how much you spend on gas, how much you spend on parking or tolls if you travel far for work, bus fare, your bus pass if you take public transportation. Okay, all that needs to be written down for your monthly expenses. Okay, now we go on to food costs, right? So your groceries, all right? How often are you dining out? Fast food, how much are you spending? All right, so write down that cost. Any extracurricular things that you pay for as well. So like alcohol, are you spending on alcohol? A lot of people do spend a lot here, so you want to keep this number written down so that if we need to cut costs somewhere, we know where that money is coming from. Okay, now we move on to health, right? Health includes your medical insurance, any doctor bills, medicine that you take on a regular basis that you have to pick up, right? Those costs need to be included as well. Your personal expenses, so clothing, right? Clothing for work or clothing for your children, whatever clothing you spend money on. Your gym memberships. Dry cleaning, some people, take pride in their work attire, their clothes, and they dry clean a lot. So this expense needs to be written down also. Any tuition, education costs, right? Tuition for the kids or tuition for yourself if you're in school. Then you want to move on to entertainment costs. Now, this is where it gets really tricky, guys. We need to write down this number because we're going to also look over where we can start to cut costs. All right, so entertainment like the movies, DVDs that you purchase on a regular basis, magazine subscriptions, newspaper subscriptions, sports, music, concerts, CDs, right? Pay-per-view, Hulu, Netflix, Apple Music, like all those things that you pay for on a monthly basis, you need to write down. Okay, and then any costs with your pets, right? Your food for your pets, grooming for your pets, vaccinations or medical visits for your pets need to be written down as well. Then the miscellaneous category comes in, and that will include child support, birthday, holiday gifts, charities that you may donate to, things like that. So miscellaneous funds. Now, guys, in your necessary payments, we want to also allocate a section for your current credit cards, okay? Because we're going to do a breakdown of how you're going to manage your credit card payments. All right, so that is included as well. All right, so that is the first step. You want to, well, that's the second step. Write down all of your expenses, okay? You want to be able to figure out where you are so that you can find ways to possibly lower your expenses, all right? And that's what we do in the next step. All right, so any questions so far? So one is write down all of your income, right? All of your income in totality. Then step two is to write down all of your expenses. Household operating expenses, personal expenses, so on and so forth. Okay? So we're just going over the list right now, but you will be doing this, later. To get everything in order, okay? So, you want to get all of your bills in front of you, right? All of your bills in front of you. If you don't have, bills for everything, your credit report is going to show you some other things that you have as well, okay? So like your balances and things like that, if you don't know what they are, okay? So once you write down all of your income and all of your expenses, now you want to write down the amounts for your credit cards, right? What are the balances that you have currently on your installment loans, like your car loan, your credit card balances, and things like that, okay? All right. So then step three is you're going to subtract your expenses from your income. Now, this is going to tell you, are you over or are you under? Okay, are you over your budget? Or are you under your budget? Or are you at a $0 budget, right? Does everything equal to zero? Okay, is all your money accounted for? All right, so it's going to be very important for you to do this correctly. All right, so don't leave out anything because we really need to know, are you over or are you under? All right, so you're going to subtract expenses from your income and then know where you stand. So, hey, if your income exceeds your monthly expenses, great job. Pat on the back for you. That's a great achievement. It's really tough to not overspend these days, so I totally get it. All right, so that is awesome. But if you're upside down, then we have some adjustments to make. Okay, but that's okay because that is the majority of people. Most people who are having credit problems are in this arena, all right, that your expenses exceed your income. So you're not alone, right? So we're going to work through that. So it's okay if you're over. It's okay if your expenses exceed your income, all right? However, we need to work through that, okay? All right, we need to work through that. So we're going to decide if you're in the positive, in the black, or if you're in the negative, in the red, okay? So now that you've written down everything, we want to prioritize all of your payments, okay? So everything that is a must-have, it's like absolutely necessary for your survival. It is necessary to operate your household, things like your mortgage and your rent. Those are things that are must-have, like your family needs a roof over their head, right? So those are must-haves. So that's where you would place an X in the A column, in the A column of the spreadsheet, okay? Everything that is a necessity, okay? So items that are nice to have, right? But that not necessarily needed. It's nice, but you don't need it. It's not required. You can make some adjustments. You're going to place the X in the B category. So things like dining out, like if you have a high monthly cost for dining out, right? That's not necessarily needed, right? Because you went to the grocery store, you have groceries, you can cook. All right, you can take lunch to work, things like that. So that will be placed in the B section, place an X there. Then if you have items that you know you don't need at all or you're not using at all anymore, okay, you're gonna place the X in the C column. So if you have a magazine subscription or just something that you're just a gym subscription that you're not using anymore, like you have it, but it's not of any use and you're just spending the money, okay, you're gonna put that in the C column because then we're gonna cut costs, right? We're gonna cut those expenses. So anything that you're not using, that's not vital to your success, that's not vital to your growth, you're gonna put that in the C column, okay? So anything that you haven't used in a while, things that are, you know, can get cut will go in the C column, all right? So now we're gonna move over to the target column. Now the target column, this is where things get a little bit tricky because this is where you have to be disciplined. This is where you have to say no. This is where you have to say, okay, this is it. I've got to make this budget thing work. I've got to, you know, cut costs somewhere. This is where you got to really get disciplined. And this is where our mindset comes into play, right? If your goal is to have better credit, then you have to figure out a way to get there. There's no excuses. There are no excuses, all right? No excuses. We all are resourceful. We all can find a way. If you wanted to go on a trip really badly, if you owe somebody money and your back is up against the wall, if you need to meet rent or you're going to get evicted, things like that, you find a way, right? So if this is important enough to you, you're going to make it a priority and figure out a way. If you have to, you know, bring lunch to work and not eat out as much and make a sacrifice for several months to improve your credit, then those are the sacrifices you need to make. So this is the column that, you know, gets a little bit tricky and people feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it takes you to feel uncomfortable to get to the next level. All right. So again, figure out where we can cut some costs. So in your A column, you may not be able to cut certain costs like your rent and things like that. That's a fixed cost. We can't cut there. But utilities, right? You can, you know, not use as much electricity, right? You cannot use heat and AC as much, right? Cut down costs there. Maybe you can cut $10, $20 every month. So you're not necessarily getting rid of the service or getting rid of the cost, but you're reducing the cost. Understand? So in the A column, we're going to try and reduce our costs if you are in that red area, right? If you're over, right, we need to reduce some costs. So in the A column, we're going to be reducing some things that we have control over, okay? You know, cut back on driving, right? If that's a high cost for you. So A column is going to be cutting back some costs, right? And then B column, right? Things that are nice to have, but not necessarily needed. Find where you can cut them out, right? That Starbucks that you go get every morning. Trust me, I fall into that category as well. Like, I love my Starbucks. I have to have it every day. But if I'm trying to achieve a specific goal and I need to reach it within a certain time frame, then that is a luxury, right? That's not a necessity. So that is something that I would personally cut. Okay, so that is where I would cut some costs. All right, so the same goes for you. Find out where you have some costs that can be cut. Okay. And then C, also analyze where you can make cuts here, because again, C is not as important. They're not a necessity to your survival. So you can most definitely cut things here. So don't make this hard on yourself. Just do what you got to do and move on. Okay. So now we're going to talk about, so any questions so far? Listing income, listing expenses, subtract your expenses from income, find out if you're over or under, And then the next step is to target and analyze where you can cut costs, okay? And where you can just cut things altogether. All right, so that's the beginning. So now we're gonna go over a special budgeting plan that you can probably really stick to. All right, so the problem is that most people in their household, all the money that comes in goes into one central account, right? One central account that takes care of everything. So the mortgage, the utilities, the cell phone, the kids' tuition, their after-school things, savings, money to come out the ATM, entertainment if you want to go to the movies. That comes out of just one whole account. That's typical, all right? However, I want to introduce you to an easier method that's going to allocate funds to different places, all right? So this approach is where you have 3 different accounts, all right? 3 different accounts. Now, the first account is going to be dedicated to your 30-day expenses. This is your 30-day money, all right? So your first bucket is called your fixed payments, your 30-day money, all right? Your fixed payments. So everything that you know that comes every 30 days, it's a fixed cost. You can predict what they are. You know what they are. You can write them down at the top of your head, right? Or they're listed on your worksheet that we just did. All right, your first fund is going to be your fixed payments, your 30-day money, right? Car insurance, car note, rent, mortgage, right? Utility, whatever utilities come every 30 days, right? This is your 30-day money. All that goes into one account. All right, so this is predictable. This is the cost it takes to operate your household. You know what these costs are. It's predictable. Right? So you know exactly how much money you need to have in this account, correct? Everyone should know what it takes to operate their household on a monthly basis. Allocate those funds into one account, okay? The second account is going to be your variable account. Your variable account, this is your 7-day money. Your 7-day money, the money that you spend on a 7-day period, like a week, okay? What are you spending weekly? Are you getting gas weekly? Are you dining out weekly? What are you doing weekly, and what are these variable costs? So they can go up, they can go down because you're not doing them the same every week, but what you need to be disciplined and do for this one, which is a little bit harder than the first one, but this one, you want to get disciplined and say, hey, it's only going to be $125. My 7-day account is going to be allocated, whatever that number is. It could be 150, it could be 250, whatever you set it to, 125, whatever. But be disciplined so that you set that number and then don't go over it. So if that money is not there in that account, that week you can't go get that, special cake that you always get every week, or you can't go to your favorite food spot every week, okay? That is your 7-day money. So if you know you get gas weekly and it costs approximately $60, like I know if I get gas today where I typically go on a weekly basis, right? And how long it will last me. Okay, so dedicate that amount to gas, right? That's your weekly money. Then I know, I'm probably going to go, to lunch, because I have client meetings this week, in this location, in that location. So I'm going to set aside, $20 on those days that I have lunch meetings for that week. All right, this is what you want to practice. So your first one is your 30-day money. Your second one is your weekly money, your 7-day variable money. But even though it can go up or down, you need to be disciplined enough, right, to set an amount. Set an amount for the week. Do not go over it. This is going to prevent you from overspending. And it also lets you know what your money is doing. This happens all the time. You go out with money, you go out with your card, and you're just swiping. Swipe left, swipe right. Use your cash in your wallet for what? Right? And then the end of the week, you're like, damn, I know I had $80. What did I do with it? Where is it? Right? So the second fund is your 7-day money. Okay? Look at what you spend. Look at your bank statements. Look at what you're spending on. Write down a number and say, I will not go over this number for this week. And that can change, right? So this week it could be 125. Next week it could be 150. Next week it could be 75. The next week, right? So you want to allocate some funds and then stick to it, guys. Okay, let's be disciplined about our money. Let's be disciplined. This is the only way we're going to improve our credit. The only way. All right. Then the third account is going to be for your future money, right? Your future money. What are your wants and your needs? Okay. This is your savings fund, your emergency plan. All right. So we can't, predict what's going to happen here, right? Life happens. It's unpredictable. Emergencies happen. Just life, life happens, right? You catch a flat tire, you want to take a trip, just life happens, right? Emergencies happen. So this future fund is specifically set for that. Emergencies, right? Any possibly loss of income, right? You don't know if you're going to get a pink slip. You don't know, right? So this fund is for that. So save up for, loss of income, save up for any emergencies, save up if you want to take a trip in the future. Save up if, you want to get married and you guys are going to fund it. It's going to come out of this account, this third account for your future wants and needs. If you want to start a business in the near future, right, that requires some money, some funds, it's going to come out of this account. Not your 30-day money and not your 7-day money. All right? It's going to come out of this account. So it's very important that you allocate funds to this account, your future money. We all have wants and needs, guys, right? Those things come up, and then we also have emergencies. Life happens. So we need to have a separate account that we can go into that we know money is there, money is allocated, and we don't have to say, oh, you know what? This happened, so man, I'm not going to be able to pay utilities this month, right? I'm going to have to take out of that and then pay for this emergency. No. You don't take from your 30-day money, all right? You take from your future account money, your savings, your emergency fund, all right? So that is set aside for that, okay? So business opportunities, somebody wants to take a trip, that's the fund you're going to use. Does everything make sense so far? Okay, great, Cher. Oh, I'm glad you're loving it. Cool, cool, cool. That's it. That's the point. I want you guys to, learn things and, have fun with it. Budgeting is not, the cool thing to do, but if you learn different ways to, tell your money what to do, you're going to get so good at it, and then you'll start to enjoy it and then be a master at it. All right. So that's the goal. That's the goal. All right, so to recap your special budgeting plan, the first fund is your 30-day money, which is your fixed cost, the total cost to operate your household. The second fund is your variable fund. This is your 7-day money, what you spend per week. All right, but here's the tricky part. You need to be disciplined and allocate a certain amount of money here, and don't go over it. This prevents you from overspending. And a lot of the answers in your questionnaire, guys, I saw that you guys are reckless with your money, you're overspending, and not thinking about the consequences. Okay? Not thinking about the consequences. That's not okay. Right? That's why you're ending up in this situation, why you're here today, to want to improve your credit. Right? So we have to have a better mindset, and we have to practice better financial habits. Period. Okay? All right, so this is what that's for. Then the third account is for your future money, your wants, your needs, your savings, family emergencies, right? Life happens, crap. You need a fund to go into. Don't take from your household, right? Don't take from your 7-day money. Then you're going to be screwed. Okay, so that's the special budgeting plan that I want you guys to follow and to create so that you are on your path to a better financial future. Any questions so far? Okay, so we're going to go on to the next thing. So now when you have all your credit card payments, now this is where I want you guys to really, really, really focus, and it's important to stay organized. It's so important to stay organized. All right, so when you have multiple credit cards, and you may not have some now, you may have like one or two, so it's easy for you. But if you have multiple credit cards, but once you are, have done fixing your credit and you boost your credit and you have more accounts, right? Now you need to stay organized. So I don't want to set you guys up and say, hey, apply for this, apply for that, and then you don't have a strategy. Remember, we need strategies to be able to stay on track. We don't want to improve our credit score and then fall off the wagon. That's not what I'm here to teach you, right? I want you to improve your credit score and be able to maintain your credit score. That's the goal many of you explained that you wanted. I want to learn how to improve my credit score, and I want to learn how to maintain it. If you can't maintain it, there's no point. I have a question here. Can you have a separate account for emergencies only? So that's your third account. Do you mean separate from like your trips and your business and things like that? Sure. If you want to separate the two and just have like two additional, then sure. So you can have a separate account for emergencies only, but that was the third account that I went over. But if you want to separate it from, like if you want to go on a trip, or you want to fund a business opportunity, or you want to fund a wedding, or fund, give to charity, or, somebody wants to borrow money, something like that, then yes. If you want to separate those two, LaKendra, yes, you can. The answer is yes. All right. So this is just, a guideline. You can definitely change it up. But if you want to have just a separate account for emergencies only, yes, you can. Okay. So good question. All right. So now onto these credit cards. You want to get all of your credit card statements together. All of your credit card statements together, right? You want to write down your monthly payments. Write down your payment dates, your due dates. So your monthly payments, your due dates, your statement closing date, which is also the end of the billing cycle. If it's not on your credit card statement, call the credit card company and find out. This is super duper duper important. And let me tell you why. A lot of people will make the payments on their credit cards by the due date and then wonder when I pull their credit report why their cards are still showing as maxed out. Okay, it's because they're not paying before the statement closing date. The statement closing date dictates when the creditor reports that balance to the credit bureaus. Okay, this is very important. So you want to write down the monthly payment, your payment date, your statement closing date. Okay, so this is where you want to organize all that. So I have a spreadsheet here. Are we able to share? Let me see. Okay, I guess I can't. All right, I wanted to share this spreadsheet with you guys so you can see it. So I'll drop it in the group so that you can see it. So what it is a credit card mastery tracking system. All right, so you want to have everything inside this spreadsheet. So the first column is going to be the name of the credit card company, the bank. All right. The second column is where you're going to keep your login URL information. So the URL for the credit card company. A lot of times we forget, or we just gotta go look it up and things like that. Everything will be in this spreadsheet. So your URL, so you could just point and click. Then the next column is going to be your username. Sometimes different banks and different websites require you to have different usernames, like you have to have a capital letter or, things like that. So your username and password will also go into this spreadsheet. All right. You want everything in one centralized place, right? Organization is key. Organization is key when it comes to your budget, and organization is key when it comes to your credit repair process, right? We're going to go over all of that, but I'm telling you, it's important. Once you're organized, everything is easy peasy. All right. Then the next column is going to be your credit limit. What is the credit limit on this card? Is it 1,000? Is it 5,000? Is it 500? Is it 200? Right? Is it 350? Write down your credit limit. Then the next column is, what is the balance at right now? How much of the card are you using right now? Right? So if you have $1,000 credit limit and you're at $850 right now for your balance, you write that in that column. All right? Then you want to write down your payment dates. So you want that to coincide with your pay period as well, right? So what you can do, if they're like all over the place, if you make this list and you have a payment due on the 3rd, and you have a payment due on the 17th, and you have a payment due on the 29th, right? Those payments are all over the place. Like, how can you even remember when to pay these things, right? That's how late payments happen. That's how missed payments happen. And then your credit score is hurt, right? You have just information everywhere. Oh my God, Capital One is due on the 5th, or Bank of America, I think it's due on the 17th. Oh, but I'm not sure, right? Everything will be in a centralized location. So what you can do is you can actually change your due dates. You can actually ask them for different due dates. Most credit card companies do allow this. They do allow you to adjust your due dates. Okay? So then if you can get them all like around the same time, right? So if you know you can allocate, $500 to paying down your credit cards, right? Have them around that pay period when you have the money. So align your payment date to associate with that, okay? So you definitely want to have at least 2 to 3 days before it's due so that they can process your payment and there's no issue with not receiving it and that it's late, all right? We don't need any issues there. So I usually say send it like 2 days before, okay? 2-3 days before. So you want to make sure it's before the due date, obviously on time, and then also before the statement closing date, okay? So that's why you're writing all this stuff down, right? So you don't have to remember it, okay? Then you set your payment date, whatever you're going to pay it on, associated with your paycheck, period, and then put that into the column as well. So if you're going to pay them all together with one paycheck, or you want to take it out of the other paycheck, then you're going to set that in there, okay? Then you're going to list your payment amount, right? If you owe $850 this pay period, you're going to pay 120. All right, so you're going to put your payment amount, and then it will auto-populate your new balance automatically because it's a spreadsheet. Everything is auto-populated, right? So you just put your payment amount in, and then it will tell you what your new balance is. All right, so I'm going to drop this spreadsheet into the group so that you can have this as well. All right, it's the Credit Card Mastery Tracking System, right? And then when you set these dates, go to your online banking and just set up automatic payments, right? Guys, let's just eliminate all the excuses, all the reasons for late payments. If you set up automatic payments, you don't have to worry about it. Okay? So, yes, exactly, Dee, right? She said she set up automatic payments, right? Because she was forgetting all the time. And now it's set to take the minimum due, correct, right? Great job. And then you can go in and make additional payments if you want to make more to bring that balance down. Perfect strategy, right? So you just go to your online banking and set it up. It doesn't take long, right? So you know when you get paid, you know when you're gonna have the money, you set your payment date, you set your amount, and boom. All right, so now we're gonna go over, pay down strategies, but this is the starting point, okay? All right, any questions so far before we go on? All right, so we select the payment date, we set up automatic payments, and now here, if you're over 30, 50%, we're not doing that anymore, right? That's a no-no. Our goal, so we're gonna have 3 goals, because I'm not gonna try to kill your budget. I don't know where this extra money is coming, unless you have a large refund coming or coming into some money and then you need to pay them down, with that, that's okay. But, if you're just using your income, then we're going to, shoot for 3 levels. So if you're over 30 or 50% of your credit utilization, the first goal is to shoot for 20%, right? That's the max. Like, hey, I'm pretty aggressive. Most companies online say 30% is fine, 40%, 50%. No, you're not going to see a huge enough increase in your score when you're that high. So you want to shoot for 20% utilization. That's your first goal. Then your next goal is to shoot for 10%. Okay. And then the third goal is to shoot for 7. 7 is pristine. People with 750 and up, they stay between 1 and 7%. Right? So if you want a high credit score, you want to stay between 1 and 7%. All right, cool. All right, now we're going to go over debt payment methods. All right, so there's 3 different debt payment methods that you can utilize. Share, you can go. the classes are available till 9 p.m. tomorrow. So you can watch the replay. All right, the classes are going to stay in the group until 9 p.m. tomorrow, and then they'll be removed for the next training. So you can watch when you get back or tomorrow. So it's available for 24 hours. Okay? So the 3 debt payment methods are, number 1, you can utilize the snowball method. Okay? The snowball method. So depending on how you treat your money, how you feel connected to your money is going to determine what method you utilize. All right. So the snowball method is, if you want a quick win and you want to feel good about your accomplishments, then you use this method, right? You pay the smallest amount that you owe first, right? Because we need a way. If we're out here just, making random payments, like we need a strategy, right? We need a strategy so that we can implement it and see progress. So here we're going to pay the smallest debt first. So if you have like a small Target card or whatever and the balance is like $200, pay that off first, right? And then the money you were using to pay off that Target, you're going to add and then pay minimums on the others, right? And then the money you use on that small account, which is the Target account, you add that to the next largest account, okay, until you're able to pay that down, right? And then you move on to the next largest and then the next largest until you get them all down. All right, so that's the snowball method. So if you feel motivated by eliminating one small debt and moving on to the next one and moving on to the next one and moving on to the next one, this is the method for you. Okay? The next method is the high interest method. Now, this one is the scary one, but it's like a huge relief because you're saving money, right? So if you choose the high interest method, then you're going to start with the account that has the highest interest rate because it's killing you, right? Like you're never going to pay it off. It's so high. All you're doing is paying interest rates. So you're saving all that money in interest if you attack the high interest one first. All right, if you attack the high interest rate first. So then you work your way downwards, right? So you have more money in essence to allocate to the smaller accounts. So this method is dedicated to someone who's like, you know what, I really need a big win. I need to see this one come down. Like this interest is killing me. All right, so if you have large interest rate accounts that's just really high, you want to start there, this is the method to use. All right, and it saves you money because again, all of those payments are going to interest. All right, so you can save that money and then allocate it to the next smaller account. All right, and then the third method is the pay the oldest debt method. Okay, so if you feel like, oh my gosh, I've been paying on this account forever, it's just taking so long, and if that's going to give you motivation to keep going by getting rid of the oldest account first, right? Or the longest account that you've been paying on first, then you use that method. So it's all, connection. Like this one is more of an emotional connection method. Like you feel like, oh, I just want to get rid of this long payment history, I've been paying on it forever. Let me just get rid of it. And it will motivate you to pay on the others. All right. So that method would be good for you. All right. So that is to wrap up day 1 on destroying your debt. We went over, what you need to have in your budget, your payment strategy, what to shoot for your credit utilization to help your credit score. And we went over debt payment methods and your credit card tracking system. All right, so I know that was a lot, but for your homework assignment today, your homework assignment or your action step is to choose your debt payment method. Like I said, so many of you talked about being able to manage your debt, paying down your debt. So many. That was your biggest struggle, right? There were some late payments here and, like I have a bankruptcy, things like that. But the biggest struggle that I saw was, how do I pay down my debt, right? How do I pay down my debt? So that's perfect that today was day 1, right? How to pay down debt or destroying your debt. So homework is to pick your debt payment method. So either you're going to do the snowball method, you're going to do the high interest method, or you're going to do the pay the old debt first, right? So choose one of those methods. Second, I want you to complete your budget worksheet. Complete your budget worksheet. So that means you should have your income listed, you should have your expenses listed, and subtract your expenses from your income to know if you're over or you're under, okay? And then we can see where we can cut costs. All right, so I want you to do that assignment. You have 24 hours, and then to post it in the group. So you can take a picture of it, or you can post it in the group, however you want to. Tag me, things like that, so I can know it's done. And if you complete your assignment before 9 p.m. tomorrow for the next class, then I'll choose a special person to receive my Master Your Credit Success workbook. All right, it's going to be free. It's typically $97. And this workbook is going to include different type of worksheets to help you along your credit repair journey. And it's also a DIY credit repair guide. Okay, so it has all of the tips and tricks and strategies to help repair your credit and different worksheets to help you along the way as well. So it's valued at $97, and I'll be giving one away for free. All right, so you have to finish the assignment, you have to post it in the group, and then I'll pick a person to receive a free workbook, a free Master Your Credit Success workbook. All right, so Sherry says, once you pay off a small account, is it beneficial to pay that monthly payment towards the interest on a high interest account? So it's up to you. It's up to you. So typically, Snowball doesn't work that way. It works as in progression. So the small account, right? And then you use the money that you were paying on that small account to allocate to the next biggest account, and then snowball your way there that way. But if you want to allocate that to the highest interest and then work backwards, then that's totally fine as well. So it's beneficial. You can work that way. That's just not what the snowball method means, but you can definitely implement that strategy, Sherry. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so I gave you your homework. You guys are ready for the homework? I hope you guys are going to do your homework. So now we're going to open up for Q&A. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment box. Any questions? Any questions? Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Day one. Oh, it's going to get better from here. Like, I'm giving you all the goods. So again, if you're on the replay, you are welcome to this as well. Do the homework assignment, which is to choose your debt payment method and to complete your budget worksheet. Then post it in the group that you've done it, and I will pick one person to receive a free Master Your Credit Success workbook, which is valued at $97. So that will definitely help you along your credit improvement journey. You're welcome, Sherry. You're welcome. Any other questions? Any other questions so far? So day one is a wrap. Wow. I know I went over a lot, guys, but hopefully everything you understood, everything is going to be helpful, everything is going to be great for you to implement and really help you along your credit improvement journey. All right, so I'm going to wait one more minute. I know sometimes the questions take a while to come in, so I'm going to wait one more minute to see if there's any other questions before we go. But yeah, guys, I mean, a debt payment strategy is going to be very important to your credit improvement journey. Okay? All right, so guys, if you want to tag me on Instagram with your homework assignment or your homework assignment, or just about, feedback from today, day one, you can use hashtag 700 credit score challenge or hashtag the credit repair queen. And, let's get this group popping, right? Like, we want people to know that we are on our path to better credit, right? So again, you can use hashtag 700 credit score challenge or hashtag the credit repair queen. Actually, you can use hashtag the credit repair queen, so it'll tag me and I can see it. Brianna, do you recommend automated budgeting apps like Mint? Yes, Mint is great. Mint is great. Absolutely, I do recommend it. I use Mint as well. I'm a pen and paper type of gal. Like, I love putting pen to paper. It's just something about it. Like all of, you're gonna laugh. Like everything I do is on pen and paper. Everything, like everything. Before I write a book, it's on pen and paper. So just seeing things in black and white for me helps me, but I use Mint as well. So Mint is a great budgeting app to use. So yes, I do recommend it. It tells you where your money is going, what it's doing, how much you're spending. So yes, it's a great tool. Any other questions before we go? So tomorrow we are going to be talking about the credit report breakdown, right? That is going to be super important. So if you have not already grabbed your credit reports, you want to do so. The link is in the group for you to go and get your Identity IQ 3-in-1 credit report. All right, so if you have not done so, you want to do so before tomorrow. Okay? Because we are going over the credit report. We're going to go over why you need your credit report, how to read the credit report, things like that. So you definitely want to grab your credit report. So thank you all for joining me tonight. And I don't think we have any more questions. Any more questions? I don't want to leave you hanging. All right, but I think we're all good. Okay, so maybe 30 more seconds and then we'll end today's class. But tomorrow we're going over credit report breakdown, get your Identity IQ reports, and do your homework. Okay, so choose your debt payment method and complete your budget worksheet and post in the group. And I will be choosing one lucky person to receive a Master Your Credit Success workbook. Okay? All right, so thank you so much again. Day one was awesome. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for being engaged and participating. And I wish you lots of luck and lots of success. And have a wonderful night. And I'll see you tomorrow. If you can go in the group, guys, and let me know if 9 is still a good time for tomorrow. I did see some people say like 7, so maybe like in between like 7 and 9, maybe like 8. So just go in a group and let me know if you have a different time in mind that you're more so available, or if 9 still works. All right, I want to be sure we get as many people on as possible. But again, the replay is available for 24 hours only, and I do mean this. It will be erased tomorrow night. Okay, it will be removed from the group. So these trainings will not be up the entire time. All right, the only way you will see massive improvement is if you take action. And the only way to take action is if, you implement. All right, so you implement, from watching the training. You come here, you come live, you watch the trainings, you implement the strategies, and that's when you'll see success. That's when you'll see results. Those are the only people that see results, right? So make sure you follow that. The training will be removed. All right, so thank you guys for a wonderful night. I'm glad you came, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.